And you know who else is strong, smart, and bold? Where is she? Oh, she's right there. Our next honoree, Ndidi Massay, Vice President of Workplace, sorry, Vice President of Workplace Culture and Diversity for CBS Sport. I have loved to hear that Ndidi used her voice to reshape sport media, transform her field. Ndidi created inclusive environment where anyone feels a sense of belonging. These spaces are like the ones Girls Inc. created for me. Her strength and courage motivates me to go after all my dreams. On my own sport team, school, and community. Ndidi, thank you for being an inspiration for girls like me and for being a champion for equity in all space. Please help me welcome Ndidi Massay.
I will start this with gratitude, which those who know me and at work know that that's sort of my thing. So thank you, and I'm grateful for Girls Inc. for honoring me and for all you do for girls across this country. I'd like to thank my family, and two of them are here, my mother, Pat, and my sister, Chinazo, who are sitting right there, and for my work family, from CBS Sports, Paramount, and Nickelodeon. When I think about Girls Inc. and I think about girls across the country, two things come to mind: equity and inspiration. So I'll start with equity. Personally, I have fought for equity all my life. As a little girl playing sports in our neighborhood with the boys and the girls, it was a constant fighting for your right to play, fighting for your right to be treated like the boys, fighting for a voice. And in my world, it was really about sports. It was sports 24/7 in our household, kind of by accident, not necessarily by our parents, kind of by the people that were our neighbors, but it was sports any day. And I grew up in California, so we're outside playing sports, all sports, 24/7. And some of the boys in the neighborhood were quite good, so the girls had to really fight for their right to be on those teams and to be treated equally. As I grew and I'm fortunate enough to be a student athlete in college. I played softball at Northwestern. The fight continued. Thank you. The fight continued, right? The fight continued. I was really lucky to be a recipient of Title IX. Women were introduced to the NCAA, and I just realized this with the Caitlin Clark and Lynette Woodard and all these records. I had to sort of go back into time. And women's sports came into the NCAA and now I'm aging myself, in 1982. And I entered college in 1985. So when I say I was a direct recipient of Title IX, I was a direct recipient of Title IX. And when I made my college choices, part of being a student athlete was looking at equity. And I told myself when I went on college visits, is the women's softball team being treated like the men's football team? And we all know the answer. No, right? And it's still that way, 30 plus years later. So we have a lot of fighting we still have to do. I was impressed, though, with Northwestern, and one of the reasons why I did go there is because I felt the equity. I felt as if our women's softball team was being treated equitable to the men's football team. It helped. We were ranked number 2 in the country, and our men's football team won 1 game. That helped. But the equity was still there. And so, as a 17, 18-year-old, sort of not knowing what that meant, it was there, it was in me, it was important. Equity was always important. And now in my life, in my career sort of went into sports and sports media, as the fight continues for women. I think we have progress, absolutely. We need more. We have voices at the table. For the first time, literally in my life, working at CBS Sports, in our senior leadership team, I'm not the only woman, thankfully. We have 2 of our senior leaders right here, and I love going to our senior leadership teams and seeing women. We need more. Where we especially need more are women of color. I am the only woman of color in almost all my rooms. So we need an extra push there. I think I have the greatest job in the world. because now I get to continue to fight for equity, and I get paid for it this time. I'd love for everyone in this room to fight for equity. We need it. We need to fight for those behind us. We always hear about, breaking glass ceilings. It means nothing if there's no one behind us. One person through means nothing. We gotta get groups of people. We gotta lean back. We gotta pull people up. And a lot of that, again, is fighting for equity. The second thing I think about is inspiration. I'm inspired. Where did Musu go? Oh, I'm inspired, Musu. You did a great job up here. I'm inspired. I'm inspired by my mom, who's a single mom who raised 3 daughters, working 3 jobs at a time. She has a daughter who is a non-practicing lawyer, a daughter who is a physician, and a daughter who is an accountant. Always showed us that we could be anything we wanted to do. So my mom inspires me. I'm inspired by my sister, who is not only a physician, she is, I hope I can say this, I'm gonna say it anyway. She's the commissioner of addiction in the state of New York, and making incredible changes in that space. And I'm inspired by my work family, who's here at these 2 tables, that every day I see these faces and more, and it just makes me wanna work harder. So thank you for that inspiration. I always look for more inspiration as well. So stories, movies, you name it, looking for that and want to continue to have that in my life. So in closing, because I'm keeping my 5 minutes that I was allotted, CBS Sports and Nickelodeon had the privilege of broadcasting the Super Bowl this year. And you can imagine, we're in a world dominated by men. Imagine what the Super Bowl looks like, really dominated by men, right? And we were able, some of my colleagues and I were able to host a fantastic event for us, for women, just internally to acknowledge, to celebrate, and inspire women. So we had this great little networking function. It was a happy hour at our hotel, fairly simple, but nice. We invited every single woman working for Paramount. We invited women at the NFL and women at the Raiders, the host team. One of the activations at this networking session was bracelets. So I'm sure you guys have all seen these bracelets, right, with words. It's a great conversation starter, it's cool, you can customize it. We had choices of what you were gonna do with these bracelets. So I'm gonna close with my choices for all of you. Quick caveat, warning, I'm gonna curse. Mom, I'm gonna curse. On a stage, with a mic, in front of people I don't know, I'm gonna curse, all right? So I'm gonna share my 4 with you. These are things that I think I am, and if I'm not, I look at it daily and I try to be more of it. First word, badass. Second word, strong AF. Mom, I can explain AF to you later. She knows, okay. All right. Third word, good energy. This room, good energy. And then my last word is how I started, gratitude. Thank you all for being here.